All right, we've got some breaking news to bring to you at this hour. We are hearing reports, this is scanner traffic, 2 planes have crashed near New River Road. Unconfirmed reports right now, but we are hearing that 4 people are dead. Again, all of this information that we're getting is unconfirmed. We do know that one of those planes is a Piper single engine. It is registered out of Massachusetts. Right now, flying over this scene in our chopper is Jason Duran. Jason, can you hear me?
Here, but we got you. This is actually 6 miles north of Carefree Highway on New River Road. As you can see, there's 2 aircraft. It looks like one of these aircraft we can actually identify as a it looks like a flight school, and it was a mid-air collision. As you can see, one of them did make an emergency landing, but as you're hearing, there were confirmed 3 people dead. And as you can see over here, the wreckage from the actual other aircraft that actually just burst into flames on impact. When we first arrived, it was on fire. They did have firefighters trying to put this thing out, but as you can see, kind of a tragedy out here today. They have cleared the airspace, the training area here, to investigate this situation, and we will give you as much information as we get as soon as we get it. Thank you.
A horrible situation. Again, Jason Duran reporting 3 people dead in this crash. We did hear 4. We have not confirmed any of this just yet, but just in case you're tuning in at 10:51 right now, 2 small planes collided. One of them we do know is a Piper single engine. A flight school is what I heard there from Jason Duran. Not sure if the pilots were students. We are working on this. We are working to get more information, of course, and as soon as we do, we will bring it to you. Okay, we've got on the phone right now Dave Wilson with Daisy Mountain Fire. Dave, can you hear me?
I can.
What more information can you give me on this? Were there students in these planes?
Pardon me?
What information can you give us about these two planes that apparently collided in air? Do you know if there were student pilots? Do you know any more information about this?
I can't confirm that there were student pilots. We did get a confirmation that it was a mid-air collision between 2 small single-engine aircraft. Crews arrived, and there was reported one of the planes was active on fire. They did a quick triage, determined that there were 3 deceased patients, and the other 2, I'm getting reports that they have unknown injuries. So they are triaging and treating and transporting those patients right now. We're working on getting them packaged up and transported to the Valley hospitals.
Yeah, Dave, I do understand this is brand new and you don't have a lot of information, but can you talk about maybe the 911 calls that came in? I'm sure there were several.
I imagine there were quite a few phone calls that came in. I don't get a report of how many calls that we actually received. However, it was very vague information. We got a report of an aircraft down initially, and then crews reported from bystanders on scene and confirmed that there were multiple aircraft down. That it was a mid-air collision.
Okay, Dave Wilson with Daisy Mountain Fire. If you don't mind, could you just stick with us, stand by real quickly. We have a reporter, Steve Ryan, who is out on the scene. Steve, well, maybe he's not there. Do we have Scott Passmore on the phone yet? Okay, just in case you are tuning in, you are looking at the wreckage from 2 planes that we hear have collided mid-air. We have been hearing something about students, flight students. That's unconfirmed. We don't know who was flying the plane, but we've been hearing conflicting reports. 4 people dead at first. Now we're hearing 3 people have died in this. We do have now our reporter, Steve Ryan, who is out on the scene. Steve, do you have any more information on this?
We just arrived here a short time ago, but I can tell you it's a very dynamic scene, and it may actually be 2 scenes. I'm at the intersection of 67th Avenue and 67th Avenue turns into a dirt road here where emergency units are staging from the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office along with the Phoenix Police Department. They're splitting off and going to 2 different areas out here, and we do have confirmation that 2 planes are down, and it looks like one of them is a Piper, which is a prop-powered airplane. We do also have that confirmation that 3 people are dead. Now, I've noticed that search and rescue crews from the Phoenix Fire Department and Peoria Fire Department's Technical Rescue Division are out here, and we've heard from one firefighter that they're looking for a 4th person who has not been accounted for yet. So they are actively searching out here right now, doing a variety of patterns, and they're being led a lot in part by the Phoenix Police Department's helicopter, which is circling over the primary scene, which is down 67th Avenue into that very remote, desolate dirt area. And we also have officers and deputies along with firefighters on the second scene, but that has been downgraded significantly. So they are focusing primarily on the scene out here on 67th Avenue. We're not being allowed back in there right now because it is such a very dynamic scene, and unfortunately you can see the aircraft down from the main road here, and it's virtually intact for the most part, and we're not sure exactly what caused the planes to collide, but we do know that the second plane on the other side of this area is very much destroyed. It looks like that bore the brunt of the impact here. And we don't know how many people are on board each plane. We know that those Pipers can generally carry about 5 people comfortably in them, 3 in the back and 2 up front, a pilot and co-pilot ideally, although we don't know the number on each plane right now. I see firefighters at this very moment moving towards me at the intersection here. They don't have their emergency equipment activated, so that tells me that they are simply going back and forth. This is a battalion chief coming towards me, relegating things out of the scene and going back and forth, trying to coordinate a variety of different agencies out here from a variety of different law enforcement, fire, and medical agencies. It's very much under investigation right now. I talked with Ian Greger from the Federal Aviation Administration, and some of his people will be en route out here as soon as they possibly can to investigate this. And these investigations take a lot of time, especially when 2 planes are involved. They have to essentially reconstruct the aircraft to see what may have gone wrong, anything from mechanical problems to pilot error.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. I'm just wondering, do you see anything in the way of witnesses, people who may have seen these planes crash? All right. We'll get back to Steve in just a moment. As he said, there's a battalion chief headed his way, so he's going to get more information on this. But again, if you're just tuning in, 2 small planes crashed mid-air. We are hearing 3 people have died in this, and we also are hearing there's 1 person they're looking for. So apparently they know that there were 4 people on board. Not sure how many in each of the planes. Joining us now live is Good Morning Arizona anchor Scott Passmore, who flies in this area and is very familiar with these type of planes. Scotty, I'm not sure if you're looking at the wreckage here, are you?
I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but I can tell you that is a very busy training area up there right around Lake Pleasant. When I was getting my license, I spent most of my flying hours up there doing different maneuvers, and it's just outside of Deer Valley airspace, so they wouldn't be controlling that airspace. But what you do when you're flying up there is there's a frequency that everybody goes to, I think it's 2275, and you go to that frequency and you call out what you're doing. So, for instance, I would say what type of plane I'm in, and I would say I'm over Lake Pleasant at 5,000 feet practicing maneuvers. And so that's kind of a shout out to the surrounding airplanes that I'm going to be in that area to watch for me. And although it may sound hard to believe that 2 planes hit midair, it's hard to believe, but yet it's easy to believe too, because I've been up in the air when I've seen other airplanes fly right by. So when you're up there in that training area, you have to be so careful with what you're watching for. You have to, before you practice any maneuver, whether you're turning left or turning right or stalling the plane, you have to tip your wing up or down and look around at the airspace around you and make sure there's no airplanes around you. So I don't know the details, obviously, but it's really tragic what happened.
Yeah, it is tragic. The plane that we are able to actually identify, Scotty, is a Piper. Steve just said that there could be up to 5 people in there. Again, all we're hearing right now is there were 4 people involved in this. Not sure how many people were in each plane, but what can you tell us about this Piper single-engine plane?
The one at Deer Valley, and by the way, Deer Valley is the 2nd busiest general aviation airport in the country, mainly because of the schools up there, and one of them is called Transpac, and they fly these Pipers, and it's a single-engine, 4-seater small plane, and that's what they train in, and they are blue and white. I can't see it. I'm not confirming.
Yeah, this one is blue and white, Scotty.
Well, it could be one of the planes from Transpac, but there's generally an instructor on board with a student, sometimes 2 students, and so that's what they do. They take off from Deer Valley, I mean, all day and all night from Deer Valley, and they'll fly up to these practice areas and they'll practice maneuvers, and that's what they do.
Yeah, this sure is unfortunate. Scotty, thank you for your time, and it's probably very likely that these were student pilots involved in this. Scotty, thank you. We are, of course, going to stay on top of this. Again, just wrapping up here, 2 small planes collide. The one that we are able to make out, because the other one is completely obliterated, is that Piper single engine. 3 people we are hearing confirmed dead. They're looking for 1 more. We are going to stay on top of this. We're going to bring you the very latest on Good Evening Arizona starting at 4:30.